Hi, I'm Matt Patterson with the Oklahoman. We're back with another edition of Zoo Tales. I'm joined by Rachel Emery and Rebecca Snyder from the Oklahoma City Zoo. Thanks for coming in, guys.
Thank you for having us.
We're talking elephants today, right? We have World Elephant Day coming up on Sunday. Talk about some of the events that you guys will be having at the zoo, Rachel.
So Sunday's a really big day for us. Something we look forward to all year round is World Elephant Day. So we have activities at the zoo this Sunday from 10 until 2 o'clock. We have two special presentations, one at 11:30 and 2 o'clock, where we're going to have additional giveaways and prizes for participating during these presentations. We also have activities in the Global Plaza at the front of the zoo. We'll have a big banner where guests can sign, write a message to the elephants, and we're going to be giving them that banner, the elephants, the banner, at the end of the 2 o'clock presentation. So they can destroy it, probably eat it as well, which is perfectly fine. And then we will have activities at the elephant habitat as well. So we'll have conservation games. We have a big Plinko board conservation game, as well as elephant trivia with additional prizes and giveaways for those, as well as having the opportunity to decorate prayer flags, which are in the habitat area as well, so people can see those, decorate it, take one home. And then we will have all of the caretakers available to talk about elephants and how important their conservation is on this planet.
So that's a full slate of stuff.
It is, yeah.
Why do you do, is that just to get, that gets people interested, right? It's a kind of a fun way to learn a little bit about their plight in the wild.
Yeah, so the goal of World Elephant Day, and really every day that we show up to work, is to be able to share the passion that we have for these animals. We want to give guests the opportunity to really have that connection moment. So we want them to care, we want them to connect with the animals, and that's really the only way that we're going to be able to be successful in their conservation. And
you work with them every day. What's that like for people who might wonder what it's like to work with elephants every day?
It's amazing, honestly. It's one of those careers where you go on vacation and you're excited to get back to work. So I love it. Every single day showing up to work is great. We get to spend a lot of hands-on time with the elephants, working with them, training with them, caring for them, putting different enrichment out into their habitats, making sure that every day is new and fun and exciting for them.
And they all, I'm sure you pick up on their personality traits and stuff like that every day.
Oh yes, yeah. They each have very individual personalities. I think Rebecca can attest to that as well. You know, from the 3.5-year-old that we have that's very curious and excitable, to our 16-year-old male that loves to destroy all things but is also extremely intelligent. He's a great problem solver. Condola, yes. He is an awesome animal. They all are. And then up to our 52-year-old adult female that is very inquisitive, and she's really great with puzzle solving, and they're just all very unique in their different personalities.
And you brought some stuff with you too. Tell us what is this stuff?
So part of World Elephant Day as well is we're going to have biofacts in the Global Plaza. So these are two of the items that you will probably be able to see up there. This first one is a tail hair, so it kind of feels like a wire. It's a very thick piece of hair that they have at the end of their tail. And then this is actually a cast of an elephant molar. So this is the tooth that they have in their mouth. They have 4 of these, and they do go through 6 sets of them throughout their lifetime. So people don't realize how big they are. They are about the size of a brick is what you'll see inside their mouth. But guests will have the opportunity to actually feel these things hands-on, feel what a tail hair feels like, see this tooth, maybe feel a piece of ivory and the smoothness and how much it actually weighs when you lift it as well.
That's a big tooth. I mean, that's certainly larger than I thought it would be, and that's would be in the back of their mouth, right?
Yes, there's 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom, and they are pretty far back, but they'll lose them throughout their lifetime, these 6 sets. So sometimes we'll come in the morning and find a giant chunk of tooth in the habitat from the night before.
What do you do with something like that? It just goes to the collection, I guess.
Yeah, we give it to the education department so they can use it for educational purposes.
Cool. And that's, again, 10 to 2 on Sunday, right?
10 to 2 this Sunday.
Okay. Rebecca, talk about the plight of elephants, just some of the zoo's conservation efforts and kind of what their situation is in the wild, both, I guess, in Asia and Africa.
Yeah, so since we have an amazing elephant program at the Oklahoma City Zoo, we're really committed to helping elephants in the wild as well. So we have Asian elephants at the zoo, and they are endangered in the wild. And they live in Asia, obviously, where human population has really grown in the last several years, and so space for elephants is shrinking. So habitat loss is a big problem for them, but also human-elephant conflict, because people and elephants are, of course, coming closer and closer together. As human population expands, then they're near each other a lot. And so elephants get hit by cars, they get hit by trains, people retaliate against them for raiding crops and food stores. And then Asian elephants are also poached not as much for their tusks as African elephants are, partly because females don't have the big tusks and some males don't either, but they are increasingly poached for their skin, strangely. So it's used to make jewelry and other items. And so sometimes people don't even know that it's coming from elephants. They just are attracted to the products that are made from it. So that's a huge problem for Asian elephants as well. So the zoo contributes money to a couple of different conservation organizations. In Asia, one of the big ones has been Wildlife Conservation Society. So they have a project in Myanmar, which is an area that still has a lot of really large elephant habitat available. And so we've contributed money to protect a big elephant sanctuary there and to fund rangers who are patrolling, trying to keep people from encroaching in the forest, and also trying to mitigate human-elephant conflict for local people who live in that area around the elephants. And then in Africa, poaching is a huge problem for ivory, and then also habitat loss, of course. And so we have, since 2009, been supporting an organization called Northern Rangelands Trust in Kenya, and they work with local people to help them manage their grazing land so that there's food and water available for their livestock, but then also for the wildlife, including the elephants. And then they have local people who also patrol and try to stop poachers and mitigate conflict as well. So the zoo has, in the last 10 years, contributed about $400,000 to elephant conservation in the wild.
And that's just money from people rounding up and things like that.
Yes.
Right?
So some of that money, the money that we sent to Myanmar, that money did come from the Roundup for Conservation Fund, which the elephant keepers do a great job of talking about in their daily presentations to encourage people to make that contribution when they're at the zoo. And the money we send to Kenya to that project comes from our Zoo Friends members. So by becoming a member or rounding up when you're at the zoo, you can make a big difference for a lot of species, including the elephants.
And that's just a matter of, like, you buy a snack and it's $5.95.
Yes.
It's the 5 cents that goes.
Yeah, so so they'll just ask you, would you like to contribute a quarter or 50 cents or $1? And if you just say yes, then that money, just that small amount, it adds up. We are on track to raise over $100,000 again this year just through that Roundup program. So that's tremendous. Really, people can have a big impact with just giving us a few cents in their visit to the zoo.
Yeah, it's local involvement, really, essentially,
Absolutely.
in an international problem.
Absolutely. Yep. Oklahomans really are helping us make a difference all around the world.
Is it common for zoos to do Roundup or those kind of things? Or
yeah, so some zoos do Roundup, some zoos do something called Quarters for Conservation, a similar idea. I have heard that ours is one of the most successful, though. I think we're in kind of the top 3 of zoos in terms of the amount that we're able to raise annually. So we appreciate that. People of Oklahoma are very generous.
It's a great idea, absolutely. And also kind of on the same lines as elephants, and they're not the same animal, but Dr. Susie Ellis, who is going to come to Oklahoma City next week, I believe.
Yes.
And she's an expert on rhinos, right?
Yes, yeah. So one of the big programs that we supported with the Roundup for Conservation Fund this year is the International Rhino Foundation. And our elephant and rhino teams are one big team that works together, so the keepers take care of both. And Dr. Susie Ellis is the executive director of the International Rhino Foundation, and we're really lucky because she's going to be here on Friday, August 17th. She's going to give a talk to staff. She's going to get to meet our rhinos, and then she's doing another lecture in the evening that is our members have been invited to come to that. And if people aren't a member and aren't able to come and listen to her speak in person, that event is actually going to be on Facebook Live. So people can join that way, and they can also ask questions that way.
Yeah, those talks are usually pretty well attended. Greg Rasmussen came. He's a painted African dog guy. And
Yeah, we're really excited to be able to bring these people in who have, you know, just amazing stories to share and can really explain what the money that the zoo sends is used for and how important it is and how big of an impact it makes.
And we didn't talk about this, Rachel, but there is a baby elephant on the way, right, at the zoo. Can you give us any update on that and talk about it a little bit?
Absolutely. So Asha is pregnant again. She's due this October. The gestation period for Asian elephants is about 22 months, plus or minus a month or so. So she's in the home stretch of this pregnancy due this fall. So Akara, our 3.5-year-old, is going to have the opportunity to be a big sister, which is pretty exciting for all of us to see, as well as Asha having the opportunity to be a mom yet again.
Coming this fall.
This fall.
Like, yeah, we don't.
Yes.
It's hard to really pin down a date, isn't it?
It is. When you're working with a 22-month gestation period, it's hard to nail down that due date.
And that, in a way, kind of plays into the wild, right? Because it takes so long to make an elephant. When their numbers are diminished, it takes a while to come back.
Yes, absolutely. So whenever any individual is taken out of that population, it's basically 4 years to replace that individual, or and then often the older individuals are targeted first, and just the knowledge that those individuals have and how important they are to their family group, because they know where to go to find water and food and stay away from danger and all those things. And when those individuals are lost out of a family group, then the rest of the group is really left without that kind of knowledge and experience to keep them safe.
That's not good, yeah, for sure. Well, guys, again, World Elephant Day, Sunday from 10 to 2, lots of different activities. And then next week, Dr. Susie Ellis with the International Rhino Foundation, is that right?
That's right.
We'll be here in Oklahoma City to talk to people, zoo patrons. So, guys, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having us.